morning everyone, my name is Becca and welcome to Yellow Cat Studios. So we're doing a cozy cottagecore Christmas video, and first things first, I want to make a gingerbread latte. The gingerbread latte was my favorite drink at Starbucks last year and they're not bringing it back this year, so I have to learn how to make one myself. So I've never made this before. We're making the gingerbread latte syrup. I will link below the recipe I'm using. There's a couple different ones out there. One says to use molasses. This one just has a few spices that I already had at home, so I'm using this one. And hopefully it works out well. So for this recipe, you're going to need 4 teaspoons of ginger powder, 2 teaspoons of ground nutmeg, 2 to 3 cups of brown sugar, and 1 cinnamon stick or 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, and 4 cups of water. So all we've got to do for this is put everything into a saucepan. I'm using a pot, and bring it to a boil and then let it simmer for 12 to 15 minutes. I didn't actually make a latte. I have a cappuccino mix that I use quite often, and I put flavoring creamer in it. So I thought it would be fun to try it with that. And I hope it worked out. I was expecting the syrup to kind of reduce, but it didn't really. So I hope it still works. That's pretty good, actually. Might have put a little bit too much in. It's a little sweet, but I don't think the syrup itself is too sweet. I'll definitely have to try it with a latte, because I think it'll be similar to the Starbucks gingerbread latte, so I would call that a success. I will say, I think that the ginger in it is quite prominent compared to the other flavors. I personally would add more cinnamon, but if you like ginger, I think that's mostly what I'm tasting. I know it's a gingerbread latte, but it's quite strong. Alright, now that we've had some coffee, let's get a Christmassy cottagecore outfit together. This one is cute, but it's too fancy for today's plans. But it would be great for a fancy Christmas party. Now this is much better. I've got a cozy knit. I've opted for a turtleneck. I've got some overalls, which I think is just a cottagecore staple. And I'm adding a Christmassy cardigan for some layers. Alright, so now we are making some salt dough ornaments. First, you're going to need 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Whoop. personally, I'm going to half this recipe, so I'm just doing 2 cups of flour. If you're doing 4 cups of flour, you do 1 cup of salt. I'm halving it, so half a cup of salt. And then again, if you're doing 4 cups of flour, you do 1.5 cups of warm water. So since I've halved this recipe, I'm doing 3/4 of a cup of water. And then start mixing. And if your dough is too dry and not combining very well, like mine, you can add more water. So my dough is pretty smooth now. It's reached kind of like a Play-Doh consistency. So I think we're good. And now I just gotta shape it into ornaments. You want your dough to be about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick, and because if it's too thick, it will take too long to dry out. There's one little ornament. I might paint these after they've baked. I haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a few more and then check back in when we get ready to bake. Alright, all of my ornaments are shaped. I'm gonna let these dry, air dry for a few hours, and then put them in the oven later tonight. It was actually the next day. I did not feel like baking these when I got home from work last night, so we're gonna do them this morning. I have my oven preheating to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're gonna put these in the oven for 1 to 2 hours. Now the bake time is gonna depend on how thick your ornaments are. If you left them for like a day, the bake time is gonna be lower because they've already started to dry out. So you're just gonna wanna keep an eye on them. Once the tops look dry, you flip them over so that they can dry evenly. So once these go in, I'm gonna check on them in about 1/2 hour to see how they're doing and if I need to flip them. So my ornaments are all baked now and they look like little Christmas cookies. I'm not too sure what's going on with the color on the back of them. This is the side that was sitting on the baking sheet when I left them to dry. But we are just going to paint the white side and have those sides showing. And these are all the ornaments painted. I can't pick a favorite, but I really like the mushroom ones. So now let's do some decorating.